Hey, everybody. Welcome to topic 5. So, for lesson 5-1, I want to take a look at graphing proportional relationships. Now, two things. One, we need to remember some things about graphing. Two, what does proportional mean? So, several things to look at the beginning of this study that we're doing. Our essential question: how can proportional relationships be displayed? That's the graph part. And what connection does the constant of proportionality have with the equation y equals mx? So, proportional relationships can be displayed using graphs, tables, or equations. Most of us, when we think of a display, would be a graph or a table. But an equation creates a line. If it's a linear equation, it will create a line, and that is part of the display. A graph is proportional if it is a straight line that passes through the origin of the coordinate plane. If it doesn't pass through the origin, it's still a straight line, but it is not proportional. Okay. So this form, y equals mx, is a proportional format. All right. So starting with just kind of a what if. Right here, we have some coordinates. So if I went up here, this would be 50, 100, 150. The hours would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead and fill that in your notes. So what this is saying is that what I do something for 1 hour, it costs me $50. So let's say rent a kayak, rent anything, any kind of, fun sporting equipment. 1 hour, $50. 2 hours, $100. Okay. We get here 5 hours, and it shifts a little bit. Okay. Now, 8 hours, right about $350. Okay. And it may be that it's not a direct correlation. We might have a fractional thing that the longer we rent it, like say if we rent it for a whole day, we save a little bit. And we would have to figure that out based on the slope of this line. But what we do know is the origin right here, the line goes through it or touches it, and it is a straight line. That means that if I rent a kayak for 0 hours, it's going to cost me $0. That automatically makes it proportional. Okay. And remember that our x-axis here and our y-axis here help us with naming the points. So like this one that I mentioned, 8 hours. So that's 8 on the x-axis. And it's about 350 on the y-axis. That would be its coordinate pair. It's really its address on the coordinate grid. Okay, so a few things to remember about graphing are going to help you a lot in these lessons. So, let's take a look at just the basics. Origin. Right here, right there, that X marks the spot. That is the origin. You know that if a line goes through that and is a straight line, then it's proportionate. Here you have the x-axis that goes left and right, and it's just a giant number line. The y-axis, up and down, again, a giant number line. Where they cross, now we've created a coordinate plane. The quadrants are numbered going counterclockwise. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. That is going to become important in describing your graphs. So I'm going to want you to know, hey, my graph went from quadrant 3, a little bit of quadrant 4, and up into quadrant 1. You're going to be able to use those terms to describe the movement of a graph. Now, how do we use this? Well, let's just say, for instance, okay, that we have a table. And this table, X, Y, shows the relationship between some numbers. 0, 0, 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6. You get the idea. To graph this, to see if it's proportionate, you could put a dot at 0, 0, the coordinate pair. You could put one at 1, 2, the coordinate pair. 2, 4, the coordinate pair. Okay. And you would have a line. Okay. And you can use any simple thing to draw a straight line. This is just a piece of paper. I don't have a fancy ruler or anything like that with me right now. Okay. Now, anytime you graph, you put arrows on both ends of the line. Sorry about that. Okay. Now, the relationship shown here is saying that every time I go over 1, I go up 2. Okay. And that's going to lead us into the study of slope pretty soon. But the equation that made this happen was this. Y is 2 times x. So if for every 1 treat I eat 2 servings of vegetables, that would help me figure it out. So now what I'm going to want you to do is go online, do your try problems, and give a good effort to these tools and playing with the graphs and what they mean for you.